Hello everyone. Today, let's talk about how your vote reflects your core beliefs. Whether you're voting conservative, liberal, or progressive, these ideologies shape how you view government roles, individual freedoms, and our societal responsibilities. So, let's get into it. Conservatism, for example, is all about tradition, limited government, free markets, personal responsibility, and most of all, individual liberty. If you're voting Conservative, you're likely supporting candidates who push for lower taxes, less government spending, strong national defense, and of course, policies that uphold traditional values. Now, think about the economic boom in the 1980s under the Reagan regime. Many credit his deregulation policies for that significant growth. But let's not forget the downside. Too little oversight can lead to issues like the 2008 financial crisis, which showed us the importance of balanced regulation. On the flip side, liberalism focuses on social equality and government intervention to address economic inequalities and most of all protecting individual rights and freedoms. If you lean liberal, you're likely supporting candidates who back social welfare programs, environmental regulations, healthcare reform, and of course, civil rights protections. A good example here is the Affordable Care Act, which aimed to make healthcare accessible to millions of uninsured Americans. This reflects the liberal values of equity and government stepping in to ensure basic human rights for everyone. I think this approach is essential for creating a fair society where everyone has a chance to succeed, no matter their background. And then there's progressivism, which goes further by addressing the root causes of inequality and environmental issues. Progressives are all about universal healthcare, climate action, higher minimum wages, and of course, a comprehensive immigration policy. For instance, the new Green Deal, which is a big progressive idea that tackles climate change while also addressing economic inequalities. To me, progressivism is crucial for ensuring long term societal well being and preparing for future challenges. Now, imagine combining all of these ideologies together, balancing conservative economic policies with liberal social programs, which could lead to a dynamic economy that also takes care of its vulnerable populations. With that, add in progressive environmental policies, and you ensure sustainable growth while also tackling urgent global issues. This balanced approach can help mitigate the weaknesses of one single ideology, creating a more resilient and inclusive society for everyone. I think a society that values and integrates diverse political ideologies is better equipped to handle the complex challenges that we face today. By recognizing the importance of economic freedom, social equity, progressive reform, we all can build a future that is prosperous, fair, and sustainable. This holistic approach reflects a mature and dynamic democracy, capable of evolving and adapting to meet the needs of all of its citizens. Moving on, let's dive into how the media we consume can really shape our political views. Depending on what you watch or read, your views might lean one way or the other. Think about it. If you're turning into a particular news channel all the time, you're likely getting a specific angle on every story. And yeah, scientific studies back this up as well. They show that sticking to just one partisan source can actually make your opinions even more extreme. Now, I do think there's some good in traditional media. You get professional journalism and deep dives into issues. But there's also a downside. It can turn into an echo chamber, pushing us further apart. That's why mixing up your media diet is key to keeping things balanced. If we switch gears to social media, it's a whole different beast, especially for the younger crowd. Algorithms tailor what you see based on what you like and what you share, which might just lock you in a loop of hearing the same ideas over and over again. This can seriously ramp up political polarization, making it tough to see the full picture. And of course, let's not forget about the pitfalls of online news. Misinformation spreads like wildfire. It's more important than ever to question what you read online. Educating ourselves on media literacy can help stop the spread of fake news. Speaking of framing, ever notice how different news outlets can spin the same story in totally different ways? This framing can subtly nudge your views on everything from policies to politicians. If we talk about podcasts and talk shows, they offer a rich analysis and insights. But you've got to be cautious about potential biases. It's all about understanding where the host is coming from and balancing that with other perspectives. And yes, even our favorite TV shows, movies, songs can sway political attitudes, often without us even realizing it. They bring up important issues in a way that's easy to digest, but still, I think just take it with a grain of salt. To wrap it up, it's not just the news. All forms of media, from Netflix binge to podcasts, can shape how you think about politics. Keeping an open mind and seeking out diverse sources, that's the best way to ensure you're getting a well rounded view. Alright, let's get into how our emotions are like the secret sauce that spices up our voting decisions. Think about it. Emotions are not just feelings hanging around, they're big time influencers when we step into that voting booth. Take fear for instance. It's powerful, right? When things feel shaky, like maybe the economy is down or security is up in the air. We lean towards candidates who stand up and say, "Hey, I've got this." But while a little fear can keep us sharp, too much might have us making snap decisions that just put a band aid on today's problems, not tomorrow's. Now, flip the script to hope. This is the cheerleader of emotions. It gets us pumped up for change, pushing us to vote for folks who paint a brighter tomorrow. We're talking better schools, cleaner energy, healthcare that we can count on. Hope gets us out of bed and into the polling station, but let's keep it real. We've got to sprinkle a little practicality on that optimism. And now, let's chat about anger for a second. It can be a real fire starter. When we're ticked off about the way things are, we're drawn to candidates who promise to shake up the status quo. But here's the thing, while anger can kickstart reform, it's gotta be harnessed right. At the end of the day, we're looking for positive change, not just throwing around a tantrum. Now, don't forget about pride and patriotism. It's like a heartstring tug that can pull us toward candidates who wave the flag and promise to keep our culture and values front and center. Super compelling, especially in tough times. But we've got to make sure it's inclusive, not just us versus them. Campaigns know just how to play this emotional playlist. They hit us with ads and speeches that make us scared, hopeful, proud, you name it, and they'll do it. They're basically aiming to connect with us on a deep personal level. Effective? Absolutely. But it can also simplify the complex and sway us a tad too far. Here's the deal, emotions are at the steering wheel more often than we might think. It's very easy to get swept up in the passion of the moment, but we've got to mix in some level headed thinking. We need a good balance to make decisions that are right, not just now, but down the road as well. Navigating this emotional terrain means knowing our triggers and striving for that sweet balance between heart and mind. It's about thoroughly vetting what candidates are throwing our way, seeking diverse viewpoints, and matching our emotional responses to our deepest values. Voting isn't just about ticking another box. It's about standing up for what matters to us and pushing for the changes that we want to see. Now, here's what I think is important: understanding why we think the way that we do, seeing the angles in the news, and figuring out how our feelings sway us. This stuff helps us make smarter and more solid choices. Let's make this interesting and let me give you a peek at how I get ready to vote. Like everyone else, I jump right into the deep end of social media, soaking up all the chatter about the candidates, like I'm binging the latest must watch show. I look into their backgrounds like a detective on a big case. And when I vote, I'm all about the facts, keeping it more logical than emotional. But the best part? I turn dinner with my family or hangouts with my friends into mini debates, throwing around ideas and having a good laugh, of course. It's all a part of this wild ride we call democracy, I guess. So, I think I will end my video by saying our democracy gets its strength from all of us playing a part. That's it for today. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to Wise Feather TV for more discussions on your favorite topics. Thank you.